My name is Jeff. Welcome back to Mohawk Garage. Today we're doing a little special. We're actually in the garage. We're doing some maintenance on my friend Jenny's Can-Am. Seems they may have been a little bit neglected. She entrusted me with borrowing this thing while my Talon was in the shop. And I took it out for a very, very short ride. And it blew the belt apart and shredded the housing for the belt and everything. I'm gonna show you a clip here. And you could tell once the housing cover was off and everything that this has been neglected pretty bad. And she had some issues with it being hard to put into gear. Did a little research online and found that that was likely to do with the bearing on the inside of the clutch being dirty or dragging for some reason. So I decided to clean the clutch and blow that stuff out while I had it apart. And this happened. So it doesn't look like, I mean, that was the loudest thing I've experienced. It clearly exploded today, but the amount of dust that was in there, there's no way that that happened today, because I blew the belt, coasted to a stop, and then had it towed home on pavement. So there's no way there's this much dust in that clutch. From that. So anyways, we're gonna get her hooked up. Got a couple of other maintenance items I need to take care of. I'm going to service the front and rear differential, change the brakes, front and rear. So this should be a quick video. If you're watching this video and you're liking this content, please like and subscribe here, tell your friends. If you're looking for my off-road content where I go out and explore, then check out my new channel. It's called Mohawk Adventures. There'll be a link in the description down below. And in there, I will do more of my blog stuff where I go and check out new places and go on rides with my friends and things like that. So we're also going to hit a bonfire tonight, so maybe there'll be a video on that channel next week too. So here we go. I've seriously been doing that for like 5 minutes before I turned the camera on. You guys, you got to clean out your clutches. I didn't even know this, but man, you need to put that on part of your service plan, because that's a lot. I'm out of air pressure right now, so I'm gonna have to turn the compressor on, and it's really loud and you don't want to hear that. So I'll be right back. All right, next up we're gonna service the front diff. As I understand it, this machine's got 5,000 miles on it and nothing has ever been serviced. So front differential, 5mm Allen, straight out the bottom. There's a drain plug. I'm gonna drain the fluid out. I'm gonna use this water bottle to catch some of it and just to see what it looks like. Oh boy. Oh boy. Wow, that is that's pretty rough. There's definitely some shavings on the drain plug there. And I would say that it was low on fluid too, because that doesn't seem like very much. According to specs, it should get about half of a quart, and that was like 3 tablespoons. So put the drain plug back in. Tighten this till my fingers click. That's 12 inch-pounds. Not the elbow, that's 12 foot-pounds. See the foot, inch, 12 inch-pounds. tighten that back down. Now we'll add some fluid. Okay, and to fill this up, we're gonna come to the passenger side here, and there's an 8mm fill plug right there. Can't really see that, can you? Not really sure if you can see that or not, but anyways, there's a drain or a fill plug there, trust me. All right, so pull that fill plug out. All right, recommended differential fluid for this application is full synthetic 75 to 140 weight. I got me a little chunk of hose here. Put it onto the nipple right there. And then run that hose inside of the hole. And you want to fill that up until the oil just barely runs out of the fill port there. It's really easy working with these bags. Much easier than working with a bottle. Yeah, I would say that this is about 10 times the amount of fluid that I got out of the differential. Alright, got that filled up, and as I predicted, it was about half of a quart. Put the fill plug back in. And this plug, being with a bigger circumference, is a 12 foot-pounds. So this time, wrench down on it until my elbow clicks. 12 foot-pounds. Alright, and there you go. Front differential service is done. Okay, here we are at the rear of the vehicle. For the rear differential / transmission, you will need a 17mm socket. For the drain, which is right here in the center of the skid plate. Drain that out. Okay, well, at least that looks good. That looks really good. It's crazy how much different that front fluid looked than this one. I am certain that she did not have this serviced. So I'd say that was about the proper amount of fluid there, as well as it looks really good. I don't see any metal shavings in the bottom, so that's good. Grab me a rag. Okay, you're gonna let that get all drained out. Wipe off your drain plug. The center has a magnet in it. So if you had a bunch of metal shavings and stuff, they'd be trapped right down in there. It doesn't seem to be a absurd amount, but there is some on there. Okay. And the rear has a little sealing washer here, so make sure you get that wiped off. Make sure that it goes back onto your drain plug before you put it back in. Very important. Especially if you drop it. That's there. That washer is tricky. It wants to jump right off of there every time. That's a pretty girthy plug there, so I'm gonna give her the 12 foot-pound service. Alright, when the elbow clicks, you're good to go. Wipe off the little residual oil right there. Now let's go fill it up. Alright, to fill this booger up, right in here you'll find the fill plug. It is also 17 millimeters. This is a plastic plug here, so very, very gentle on the tightening. Okay, this has got a dipstick on it, so we'll know when it's full. Okay, as I understand it, the rear takes about 1 3/4 of a quart of fluid. So we're gonna finish this one off from the front. Again, this is 75/140 oil. You got it on me. All right, so I put all the oil that I had in there, so hopefully that's enough. Let's see, looks perfect on the dipstick. So there you go. 2 quarts of fluid will do front and rear differential services. This is a plastic cap, so once again we're going to the inch-pound scales. Just take your finger and there you go. So I was going to do the rear wheel bearings on this rig today, but due to all the belt damage and stuff going on, I'm not gonna have time to mess with that today. So stay tuned for rear wheel bearings on the next video here on Mohawk Garage. But today I'm going to finish up the general maintenance stuff, and I'm going to replace the front brakes. They've been squealing like hell. Hopefully the rotors are still good. But then we'll do the rear brakes when I get to doing the rear wheel bearings. Probably at the same time that I do all that belt stuff too. So that will include removing the belt housing, the clutches, rebuilding the clutches, and reinstalling everything. Let's do some brakes. Alright, so I was gonna throw some new pads on here. Just because I was gonna take stuff apart, and I was just gonna throw some new pads on there. But these appear to be the stock pads, and I would say they're 80%, even after 5,000 miles. So I'm probably just gonna pull them apart and service them a little bit. Maybe scuff up the pads a little bit and lubricate the sliders. Because this brake has been squeaking, but I don't think it really needs to replace the pads right now. So let's get into it. So 15 millimeter socket to get these off. Yeah, see, these are factory Brembo brakes, these pads here. So rather than putting these fucking cheap Chinese pads on here, I'm just gonna take these with my belt sander, scuff them up a little bit, and then put them back on. With our quality brake pad, I wouldn't want to take them off, put some cheaper quality pads on there. So get over here, you. There you go, like brand new. If this one does end up squeaking, there's a groove right here. Looks like it might got a rock or something in it at some point. These are good pads. I'm not gonna throw them away. Gonna take these brake pins. I'm gonna make sure that they're straight. Just kind of lay them out on something flat. Make sure they're straight. And then I'm gonna clean it up with a brush, just by hand here. You don't want to gouge it. You want the pads to be able to slide easily across the pin. Yeah. I'm gonna put just a little bit of this anti-seize on here, and then I'm gonna pray that I don't find it in my house 5 minutes later. You know how this stuff is. I'm just gonna get it right here, right off the lip of the jar. Just a little bit. It doesn't take very much here. Spread that around a little bit. Back over here. Alright. The caliper and bracket here has a couple little sliders in it. So just want to make sure that those aren't sticking. That's often a very common reason for your brakes to squeak, is because the sliders are sticky or stuck. That'll cause your brakes to wear unevenly, cause noises and such. Slap those pads back in there. Run that little anti-seize bolt back through there. Look out! We made it. Okay, I've been noticing when driving this thing that there was this clunking sound in the front when you hit bumps and such, and I attributed it to the sway bar end links being loose. They were a bit loose, but now that I got the wheel off, you can see, if you watch right up in here too, maybe you can see that right there. That control arm is kind of just walking all over the place, all willy-nilly. $18mm on those guys. Kind of tricky to get to some of these bolts sometimes. Thank you, engineers. Same thing on this side. Wow. But bushings are fucking just whacked. It happens when you drive off-road. Stuff wears out, man. It's just part of it. Pads are in good shape. Got a lot of material left. Just gonna sand them off. Check sliders. Alright, so you might be able to see, I don't know, this one's a little sticky. So that might be causing the squeak. So I'm going to take this apart and lubricate that. You ever try to put your seal in something that was too tight? I never had that problem, but I was wondering if you had. I'm going to use this slider from the other part of the brakes to help push it in there. Don't just jam it in there. Obviously it's going to pop through there, and that's not going to help. So just use that to help get it through. Help grease everything inside of there nice. And before you know it, it goes boop. Alright. Just the tip sticking through there. Just the tip. A little dab of dielectric grease there. Throw this thing back together. Make sure that you get those seals seated back down there to the bottoms. There's a little lip there. Make sure you get the seal to pop back onto that lip before installing. Like that. Put your pads back in there. Well, there you go. A little bit of maintenance goes a long ways on these side-by-sides. So we took care of the blown out belt and the clutch maintenance, which should be done regularly. Remember to remove that clutch cover and blow the dust out of those clutches every once in a while. Especially if you got a big gaping hole in your clutch housing. And then we took care of the brakes, shook down everything, and got the customer. We'll notify her of needing to replace the control arm bushings, and then in the next video maybe we'll get to these rear wheel bushings, rear wheel bearings. I'm sorry. So if you made it this far in the video, thank you so much for watching. If you are disappointed that I'm working on stuff instead of out adventuring, please go and check out my other channel, Mohawk Adventures, which there'll be a link in the description below, where I will be posting my adventures. You know, this is Mohawk Garage here. We're gonna get our hands dirty. We're gonna fix some stuff. We're gonna build cool rigs, and then on Mohawk Adventures, we'll be doing more fun stuff. So, thanks for watching.